Alright, hello everyone. My name is Andreas Diaz. Me and Will are back again for another spectacular Marvel Plus talk. Of course, today we're going to discuss the Christmas special for the Guardians of the Galaxy and, in general, the Phase 4 projects, which is crazy. So, and this is technically our last Marvel Phase 4 project, Will, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yeah. So I just want to get into this right away because I just fell in love with the Christmas special. Uh, I think this was a good way to end Phase 4 after a bumpy road, I would say.
hmm
But but what's your overall general opinion about this special?
I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it didn't take itself too seriously, um,
Yeah,
and that it was just some nice like character moments and just like um, funny like moments with these characters that we love. So yeah, no,
yeah,
it's a fun way to spend 45 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked. Yeah, it just bam, 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 like quick and just it was like one of the best like pace I seen for MCU in a
hmm
while. Like this is why I love Werewolf by Night and this one now. It's just the
hmm
pacing's been, oh my god, the pacing has been so over the place with Marvel with this Phase 4, and
Yeah.
it was, this just did the right thing, which is good. So yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think this was a good Christmas special. I think was for me because I watched it twice
hmm
now before. My second was before this recording. I think this was a better special over Werewolf by Night, I will say. Um,
mm
I mean because I mean I don't know about you, but like we've seen Christmas specials before, but I think this one was just refreshing because with the MCU, I was so happy we didn't do any formula thing like a villain or something like a MacGuffin. Like I really appreciate the low key and just relaxed nature of the special.
Yeah, I think I preferred Werewolf by Night if we're gonna compare
Okay,
the two.
okay,
I think it just felt more like it was doing its own thing. Um,
mm,
felt more
right,
like complete as an entry. Um, but I think this as like a fun like one-off special was it achieved what it was trying to do. Um,
yeah,
so I enjoyed it a lot. But I don't know. I think it's a very different product from Werewolf by Night. So I don't really want to
yeah.
compare the two of them.
No, and they were doing different like I don't know what you call this, like holiday specials. You got
hmm
one for Halloween and then this one's for Christmas. So
Yeah, two
it's
completely different like genres
yeah,
and just tones. Yeah.
yeah, and just agenda in general, what they want to do.
hmm Yep.
Like Werewolf Night is like what you kind of expect for like a Halloween special. For
hmm
Christmas special is like it really depends like what you want to do for Christmas. It's like
hmm
like you want it to be a sentimental special or this very crazy like Christmas hectic kind of episode, like kind of like Ed and Eddie, where like Ed, like he's so selfish, like he just goes to every house, like every like kid's house, and try to steal their presents. If I remember correctly, with the Christmas special they did, uh, or like Hey Arnold's Christmas special, where that was like sentimental, where
hmm
Arnold was trying to help Mr. Miyagi, I think if I remember correctly, to find his daughter that he didn't like lost connected after the Vietnam War.
hmm
Like this combined like just crazy Christmas action and then sentimental at the same time, and did it so well, which is crazy. Like I really enjoyed Drax here, where his humor was much better than Volume 2, and a little bit of Infinity War and Endgame, I would
hmm
say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, but I will say the biggest shock to me was Madness. Like I think Madness has is definitely my favorite character now after this special. I thought that she really had uh, depth that we never saw. I think this was a
Hmm.
good time to explore that, and especially I guess we can discuss now with she's the sister of Peter,
Hmm.
which I'm kind of happy they did because I think it was kind of obvious. I'm kind of shocked we didn't address it.
Yeah, it did feel like that was
Yeah,
like what they were setting her up for in volume two, even if but they never like explicitly said it. So I think it was good to
yeah,
get that here.
yeah. To get to hear because yeah, because I always wonder if they ever had that moment. And well, now the special we did have that moment.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and especially now because I think there was like a quick glimpse of one of Madness' kind when Eagle was showing the many lovers he had previously,
Yeah, there
and
was.
yeah, and so I was kind of like wondering we could do that. But yeah, I was very happy about this, and I appreciate Madness as a character. Like she was very thoughtful, and
Hmm.
I, in her way, um, and I really appreciate how she was thinking about Peter, and I really like how we are consistent with what's going on with Peter about what happened with Endgame and Infinity
Hmm.
War. With Gamora not being there. Um, until we'll see her in Volume 3, I'll say.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so that was really good, and this set up a lot of things when we're going to see the new movie in May.
Hmm.
So, but what do you think about Maz? I think she was a great character, and I thought Pawn Clementov was very good in this. I think this was her best performance so far.
Yeah. I mean, I think Mantis is a really interesting character, but they haven't really given her like uh, any of the spotlight yet.
No,
But yeah,
no.
she like seemed really interesting in volume two, and then
Hmm.
was literally in the backseat of Infinity War.
Yeah,
Uh, but
yeah,
um,
yeah,
yeah, she yeah, I know James Gunn has said that Mantis and Drax were characters that he really liked, but felt like he didn't have enough like time to really like
explore them.
right. So this gave a little more time for that, which was good. And I know they're gonna have some nice roles in Volume Three, so that'll be good too.
Yeah, especially now with the sister thing. Like
Hmm.
now, like Peter has more of like a high stake now than before.
Hmm.
Like not only he wants is trying to rekindle Gamora, but like he also has to protect his sister now
Hmm.
that he never knew, and wants desperately to keep her safe. Because she's the only family he got. Besides the Guardians, but like legitimate family member.
Hmm.
To be safe. So yeah, yeah, I think I think they set up a good position between Madness and Drax as well. Because Drax, I feel like we sort of like his arc was already completed by the first film, and
Hmm.
like it's always funny how I hear people say that he got his wish with he got to kill off Rowan and then Thanos, but like it's like we never did anything with the Thanos thing. It was just like
Right,
kind of there, you know.
right. Yeah, I wish
Yeah,
they had addressed that,
yeah,
and
yeah,
hopefully they will in Volume Three.
yeah. I hope so. Um, but yeah, I will say I think I don't know. My favorite moment of Madness was her screaming at Drax about the Sarkin nuts, whatever
The
thing.
Zarg nuts, yeah.
Yeah, when she screamed, it was so funny. Her screaming or yelling at Drax is just the most funniest gag of this
Hmm.
special. I just fell in love with that. And of course Drax and his how you say it, his obsession with the little air balloon man
Hmm.
was just also charming. And I just love how he was telling Mantis he wants to go back and get it, and it's like he chose that over Peter, which is funny.
Hmm.
So that was really good. And I like the moment when she told him to not take away the things, and then she immediately saw the candy cane. She took it. Like,
Hmm.
oh my god, that was just great comedy timing for that one. But yeah, and speaking of Drax, I mentioned before, I think Drax here was better. I think his humor was way better than Volume Two, and it was better than Infinity War and Endgame, which they did a good job there. But I think this was the best with
Okay.
Drax. Uh,
Yeah.
just for me, in general. Um,
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they've made him like more and more childish as the years go on,
yeah,
which I don't know. I don't know if I
um,
like it, but
yeah,
it's fine.
yeah. Well, I consider him as like a grandpa. Like he's like the old the older statesman of the Guardians, and like he just has this very like wary but bizarre point of view
Hmm.
to do things, and and his humor is just so like like over meta sometimes, and so
Okay.
because with Volume Two, my problem was because you know Drax is not aware of certain things. Like the meta commentary would be over his head. We went too far with that in Volume Two,
Hmm.
and where Infinity War and Endgame they sort of step it back a little bit. But here I drew like here was just the perfect way, the perfect balance of Drax humor and just overall awareness.
Hmm.
Um, but one thing I will say that it was good to have the special was how powerful these two are.
Hmm.
Like like if you want to tell your friends how like a superhero is from a comic book, this is it. Like them jumping in, being invulnerable with bullets. Well, mostly Drax, and and then Matt like just like doing this seer morph, like jumping in the holes thing was like
Hmm.
creepy. I was like, what is going
Yeah.
on here? Like, I mean, she's even more powerful than I was suspecting. Besides
Hmm.
her imp telepathic powers.
Hmm.
So I was just like, God, they're so powerful, and just like this is how like this team is so functional as a superhero team. So
Hmm. Yeah,
um,
I did like that James Gunn made them feel like aliens when they were on Earth. Like,
mm, yep,
yeah, he really
yep, yep.
like, yeah, because sometimes you're watching the Guardians movies and you like forget that you're watching
Aliens.
aliens.
That's very true.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's very true. Yeah, it's like well, because we always used to like the fish out of water kind of comedy
Hmm.
with these characters, but we never show how alien they are.
Hmm.
When you see them doing their thing or abilities, it's like, oh
Hmm.
wow,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Oh my god. So that's so true. Yeah, and I guess we can get into the next. Well, we also got Cosmo. He's also
Yes,
like Cosmo. We got the telepath dog. We got
I was
the
so
act.
happy.
Yeah, I didn't know you were happy to see him, but or she.
Oh.
Um, like oh my god, I was so happy to see Cosmo in
Hmm.
this special, especially like I was so happy they did the rocket and Cosmo thing right
Hmm.
away, which was good because that's
Yeah,
something that's from the comics.
yeah. No, I'm a big fan of Cosmo.
Oh my god.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Glad they gave Cosmo a like speaking role this time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
excited for Volume 3.
Oh my god. I can't. And when we get to the Phase Four stuff, like it's crazy. We got trailers now for
Hmm.
Volume Three, and like 'cause last Friday was like a big trailer dropout. Like oh
Hmm.
my god. Like Transformers: Rise of the Beast came out with a trailer. Not John Wick, but John Wick had a presentation, and then what was the other trailer? Like a scissor wheel for Ant-Man 3.
Hmm.
Um, Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah.
Got that. It's crazy. I'm so excited for Volume 3, but we'll talk that later. But yeah, yeah, seeing Cosmo in that trailer, I was like, yes. After the first film, it's like we need the
Hmm.
dog. But yeah, I do have a question. Does Cosmo have a telepath powers? Like
Yes.
I'm okay, because I know he can communicate with them like telepathically, but I didn't know
Hmm.
he has
Like
telekinesis.
telekinesis. Yeah.
Yeah, I because I'm trying to remember if he did that or she, whatever gender is this dog. I
Yeah, I don't know what gender they're doing for the movies. I know it's voiced by a woman, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the
yeah,
talking space dog is a woman.
yeah, it's gonna be was a dog like from Up. Like initially you think it's a boy, but it's actually a girl.
Hmm.
Oh my god, that okay, I can accept that. And it's a Disney thing. It's a Disney thing. Um um okay, because I try to remember the game. I don't know you played the video game of Guardians and I'm trying
Yeah,
because
I
Cosmo
loved it.
yeah, because Cosmo's there and I try to remember if he did any telekinesis sort of
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a
okay.
lot of that.
Okay, alright, because it's been a while for me to play that game. Um but anyway, so we got that, and set up Volume 3. We sort of set up the peer thing. We didn't get too much of the Guardians. Let's kind of get that out of the way. Like
Hmm.
we saw Peer, and Peer, like he's not in much of the special, but like he's there, and we see
Hmm.
him in Beats spots, which is good. I think they did a really good job of using Peer here,
Hmm.
and I like how he's overall the main story we're doing here in the special, which is good, you know.
Hmm.
So, I seeing Rocket and Nebula and Groot here was great. I was just shocked. Like I saw the big Groot in the trailer, but like it was so funny when we saw Groot finally in the special. Like you see him dancing as usual, and it's so creepy with the buff body. I don't know.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't, I don't know. You have that moment. It's like, whoa, okay, this is a little weird with a buff
Yeah.
group dancing. You know, um, I don't know. I just thought that was weird.
Hmm.
Buff group dancing while the alien singing the Christmas song. Um, but yeah. So we didn't get too much of Drax or I mean Peter, Groot, Nebula, and Rocket. But I did appreciate some of the payoffs we got from them. Like
Hmm.
I really love the Rocket had the robotic arm from Bucky. Um, that was something I didn't expect to see. Him having a robotic arm finally.
Hmm.
And then what do we did? And just seeing Nebula like kind of lose her you know shield a little bit and embrace
Hmm.
the Christmas spirit. So
Hmm.
that was good. Um, this one killed me when Groot got his present and he got the Nintendo game, or I think
The
that's
Game
it.
Boy.
The
Yeah.
Game Boy, yeah, and that was funny, and he got giddy. Oh my god, that was my favorite moment.
Hmm.
But yeah, a lot of Kraglin. I really like that Kraglin got more to do.
Yeah,
Um,
me too. I like that he's become like an actual member of the Guardians instead of just like a side character.
yes, and I really appreciate how he's kind of like the after here the more sensible, like grounded person of
Hmm.
the group. Like he knows, like he's still like he's also a cosmic alien person out of space, but he still knows some of Earth traditions.
Right. Because he grew up with Peter.
Yeah, exactly, and I really dug that. Um,
Hmm.
and I really like his conversation with Kevin Bacon.
Hmm.
That moment really did a good job of just getting Bacon to realize what what was all going on, why they did it.
Hmm.
So that was nice. And big surprise to hear Yanni Do come back. I was always happy to hear Michael Rooker come back.
Hmm.
So I appreciate that. The flashback, I don't know, it reminded you of the what was that crazy animation? How you say company, the Baxon Productions. What they did, the Rudolph and Frosty the
Uh,
Snowman.
yeah.
Like, did it remind you of that with some of their
Uh,
like not the
just
stop motion, but like in general their animation. If you saw,
not really. Just in that it was an animated Christmas special. That was about it. Wasn't
Yeah,
there an animated segment to the Star Wars holiday special? I thought that was.
yeah. Was it like more like that?
I
Like
think so. I've never seen. I've only
this?
seen like clips from the holiday special,
Me too.
so I'm not like super familiar with it. But I'm pretty sure there was like an animated thing about like Boba Fett that was in that. Like,
That's like his
uh,
first time appearing in the Star Wars thing, right?
is
Boba
it?
Fett. Yes,
I
that's
don't.
what I heard. Because he was first a toy, and then he popped up in the cartoon, and then this before he
And
jumped
he
to
was in
live.
the movie. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, before the Empire.
Mm.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy with Star Wars. But yeah. But yeah, yeah. Now you bring up the Star Wars thing. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah. The animation didn't remind me of the Star Wars Christmas special, holiday special, whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I really, I think what I like it the most, it was just adding like certain things I just we needed to confirm, or like something you were expecting. Like I mentioned the rocket, the Bucky arm thing. Um,
Mhm.
I really appreciate the confirmation of the guns, because Pier's guns that he
Oh
used,
yeah.
like in the comics, of course, like he got it from the father,
Right.
whatever, the High Prince or
The
whatever you
son
call
of
it,
Spartax.
Spartex, right? And it was always that usual, like even the game did that. I
Yeah.
think. Um, but here I really like it made sense. It was from Yondu, and I really like that we got that.
Hmm.
Because I think when I saw the first one, I thought we were gonna get that when he was gonna open the present that he got for his mom, but
Hmm.
it wasn't, and I was so happy. So it was kind of funny that we did it here.
Hmm.
So but yeah, so I thought that was a neat, tie up, like how important Yondu is as a father to Peter.
Hmm.
No matter how difficult he was during his time. And that's
Right.
it. Yeah, that's it. Ravager.
Ravager.
Yeah. But yeah. Um. Yeah. And then we can get into Kevin Bacon.
Hmm.
He was the big star here, and I, I mean, poor Kevin Bacon. I never expect him to be abducted and then getting brainwashed at the same time. Um, I mean, when Drax point out was at the shop that had all the Christmas stuff, and
Hmm.
then his reply was, "Ooh, coolness." I was just, and then of course when like both of them discovered that he was like an actor,
Hmm.
and like they were so disgusted about that killed me, and I was like, oh my god, and then like Drax, of course, he replied that, oh, we made Christmas worse than Yondu did. And then of course, I this part killed me. Like when Man's brainwash him to be like he had to pretend to be an actual hero, and
Hmm.
then he started to do this British action. Uh, and then he brought up Batman, which
Hmm.
I never expect we did it again for this one. And Marvel thing, I was like, oh my god, you're giving me everything I want. Um, and then of course I do like how they bring up his movies. Um, of course we gotta the Footloose thing is
Hmm.
always the main thing they always bring up with the Guardians and Kevin's filmography. I really appreciate that Jason Voorhees. I wasn't expecting Friday 13 one. Like, and and then the Fonz. Like, I can't believe they brought Harry Wrinkle into the MCU.
Hmm.
So I really dug the conversation. Um, oh my god, yeah, Kevin Bacon is great. What do you think about Kevin Bacon? And I mean, I hope one day he will be back for Sebastian Shaw. And I mean, this I mean, it's in the multiverse now, so
That's possible. Yeah.
yeah. So what do you think about Kevin Bacon here? I was happy he was yet again working with James Gunn.
Yeah. No, he was just having a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you could tell he just like was just excited to like work with James Gunn again and just kind of ham it up in a Christmas special. So
yeah, and showing off his singing skills. I wasn't
yeah,
expecting that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Um.
good.
Yeah. That part I really like, and I like how it's kind of like what Nebula say. He wasn't a shitty actor. Pardon my French. So like I like how he was very thoughtful and like he took his time to give Peter this special moment. The Christmas he needs.
Hmm.
When he got a call from his wife, and so I really dug that. So I really like we didn't do the traditional like Christmas thing where we got this grumpy person and all that. So I really
Hmm.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So um okay, so we mentioned that. Is there anything else we gotta say for the Christmas special?
Well,
Um
uh, they
I
mentioned that the Guardians bought nowhere from the Collector. I thought that was some good exposition
yes.
for Volume 3.
Yes, we're gonna mention it. Yeah, from the collector, and then it seems like the collector survived from the Infinity War.
Right.
So, I'm very intrigued now that them having the nowhere because that makes sense to make that home for themselves.
Yeah, in the
And
comics, it's their like base.
oh yes, I totally forgot. Yeah, yeah. When we got these guys in 2008. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my god. And speaking of Easter eggs and references. The ship, like we got a new ship for the Guardians. It's now called Bowie.
Mhm.
Which, which is cool. They did their honoring David Bowie. Um, I'm trying to remember. Did the Milano got destroyed? Like
I don't think so. Right?
no, like
I think
what
they
is it?
just have two ships now.
Yeah, they have two different. Yeah, like I'm trying to think. Like Thor in Love and Thunder. That's like the other time we saw them this year.
Hmm. Right.
And they have them alone. So it's kind of funny. They got a new ship here, and then I don't know. Like I'm that part I'm a little weird because I really like them a lot, and like I want to have it be part of the final journey for them. It's like
Hmm.
why are you giving them a new ship now? I was like I don't get it. I don't know. It's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I like the name the boy, but the ship
Hmm.
itself I'm like it's too. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know what's your opinion about that. I
It was okay. Yeah. I
yeah
mean, the Milano is like iconic at this point, but
yeah yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and I guess so. I'm looking at my notes here. I found out it seems like Thor: Love and Thunder was set in 2024, and then this
Okay.
special is in 2025 in terms of Christmas. So
Okay.
Groot grow at that time a year,
I guess. Yeah.
which sort of makes sense. I think.
Hmm.
Um, Uh, and then we got a very quick Easter egg of Kangyu, Kingo, from the Eternals.
Hmm.
When Drax and Mantis went to the bar,
Hmm.
it was like you really see quickly. It's Kingo's Christmas. Um, that's what it's called. One of his movie projects.
Yeah. Poster in the background.
Yeah. I don't know if that's before or after his was it his kidnap from the Eternal. Oh my God, what's that red creature thing?
Uh. Oh
That
man, what
the
is it called?
it,
Yeah.
Jimish. Oh my God, I'm really bad at names now.
Arishem,
Yeah, yeah, the main big internal
the
thing. Yeah,
Celestial. Yeah.
yeah, the Celestial. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to question the timeline for this because like when we get into the Phase 4 thing, I
Hmm.
the timeline is just I'm just like weirded out with the timeline now.
Yeah.
This
That's fair.
um but anyway, yeah, and then when they went to the Hollywood thing, we saw like the people dressing up the costumes and the Hollywood theater thing. We see
Hmm.
Captain America, which I love that in Mass scream to Steve towards that stranger. Like,
Hmm.
oh my god, I did expect that. And it was so funny. And then we saw Ant Man, which is kind of cool, because
Hmm.
Ant Man is like the next thing we're gonna get for Phase 5, well, like the start of Phase 5.
Right.
Yeah, and then we see a little bit like a Transformer and Pirates Caribbean. Um,
Go back.
yeah, go back, and this one is interesting with the go back. It's also a reference to the robots, the Kree Sentinels that kill actually Drax's cousin in the comics. So that's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like a double, like a double homage slash reference to that. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then what else? We got like a God of War here that was like reference, like Ares. So another Greek thing, after
Mm-hmm.
Thor, Love and Thunder. What else? Trying to think. One thing was kind of interesting. Kraglin still cannot. He still hasn't learned how to fly the arrow. Still,
Mm-hmm.
that was a cool tie up from Volume Two with the with the post credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool. And then I mentioned the arm. Uh, well, and then when another Star Wars thing was when Yandudu jumps. The was it the jump hyper jump? Like it looked a lot
Mm-hmm.
like how Millennium Falcon does the jump as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that was it. But yeah, I think anything else, I think we kind of cover. I will say.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
yeah. So